Lately, I've been reflecting. Maybe Ed Wood, the world's worst filmmaker, and I might share something in common: delusion. Ed Wood, the cult filmmaker behind low-budget oddities like Plan 9 from Outer Space. See, he's remembered for his passion and unwavering belief in his work, despite technical flaws, poor acting, and complete critical failure. His relentless passion, paired with his charm, made his work oddly endearing. Understanding who Ed Wood was adds a layer of intrigue to his otherwise bad movies. In the 1990s, Tim Burton, the legendary director, even made a film about Ed Wood, with Johnny Depp portraying the dreamer himself. The movie portrayed Ed Wood as a man who believed deeply in his vision, even when the evidence suggested otherwise. Now, unlike Ed Wood, I don't make films, but I do dream of revolutionizing education. I believe the work I've been doing alongside Brendan O'Leary on the 3 types of school model is visionary. It reveals what others overlook. It's bold, and I hope exactly what education needs. In reality, I might be completely delusional. I believe this model is the key to unlocking potential in our education systems, and I actually hope it becomes the first thing you are taught in teacher training programs worldwide. And it seems to be relevant through any educational context, from kindergarten to a PhD program. So what is this 3 types of schools model? There are 3 relationships at the heart of education. The model helps educators and leaders see that education revolves around 3 types of relationships, each thriving in their own specific environment. I call these 3 types expert, coach, and counselor. We have expert, coach, and counselor schools, leaders, educators, parents, and students. There's one of the types that people lean towards and they do best with. Here's the quickest breakdown of the differences. Who decides what happens in the classroom? Expert educators decide independently, so the teacher decides with autonomy. Coach educators collaborate as a staff for a unified, whole school-wide approach. So here the staff decides. And for counselor educators negotiate learning decisions with students, so the student decides. Supporting these relationships means creating places that align with each of the 3 types' unique needs. And this is true both for the school as a whole and also when you zoom in to see how a classroom functions. So what do the school and classroom environments look like across the 3 types? Expert environments thrive on clear hierarchies. Coach environments are multi-layered, democratic hierarchical structures. And counselor environments flourish with flattened hierarchies and equal voices. And the key takeaway here is that all 3 approaches can succeed and benefit students. All 3 have their pros and cons, and one is the best for a school's particular context. But yet, because we don't yet use this terminology of the 3 types, expert, coach, and counselor, we don't clearly explain which type we wish to establish. We just simply want to do something good in education. And our education systems are in a constant tug of war between these 3, wasting time, resources, and the personal investment of those wanting to contribute meaningfully. So I've spent the last 6 months writing a book and creating content and starting conversations to share this idea. But education's complex, and my work doesn't fit neatly into a category. It's not really coaching that I'm offering, it's conversations. Conversations that help leaders in education, be they principals, teachers, to make sense of what's happening and to chart a clear path forward. It's about finding clarity in the noise and navigating toward meaningful change and doing so effectively and elegantly. So here's where delusion comes back in. Like magic, or delusion, I came across Seth Godin's blog talking about creating a marketplace, which he just so happened to post on my birthday this year. In it, he says, "It's tempting to be a market pioneer, but because creators focus on needs, not markets, they often fail to account for just how difficult it is to activate those needs and turn them into a thriving market. If you're in market creation mode, it helps to call it that and be prepared for how difficult it might be." Seth's words hit home. Building something new isn't just about identifying the need, as I've done, it's about creating a marketplace for it. And that's way harder than it sounds. So this fall feels like it's been full of effort and failure for me. I've launched products with no sales, started to try build communities with minimal engagement. I've taken courses, followed advice, hired coaches, and so far it feels like nothing's working. But failure is fueling me, both hoping for longer term success, but possibly delusion. I keep hoping for a moment when everything clicks, when my persistence turns into progress. Maybe that moment will come, maybe it won't. Ed Wood didn't succeed because he was good. In the long run, he succeeded because he was relentless. His films were messy, awkward, but full of sincerity, and in the long run, that's why people loved him. His legacy wasn't in perfection or visionary filmmaking as he thought, it was in his unshakable belief in himself and his vision. And this is actually where I differ from Ed Wood. I believe in the power of the three types of school model full heartedly. However, on good days, I believe in my ability to share it. Most other days, I doubt my capacity to be the person who brings this into the world. Ed Wood didn't see success in his lifetime. And for every Ed Wood that we know, there were likely another 100 passionate, obscure filmmakers out there. He was just lucky enough to be remembered. Maybe I won't, and that's okay. I'll keep having conversations, pointing to the overlooked framework of education that's right in front of us, but somehow remains unnamed and unseen for now. Ed Wood's films have been viewed and enjoyed by millions of people since his passing, and even Hollywood, which laughed at him at the time, would eventually honor him with a film made by some of the biggest directors and actors of the time. His story reminds me that persistence, even in the face of overwhelming odds, matters. That belief in a vision, no matter how flawed, can leave a mark. Maybe I will just be one of those who never gets recognition, or maybe my ideas will resonate with someone who can take them further. And part of my hope for this video is that I can look back on this in 2, 5, 10 years from now and laugh, not realizing what lied ahead. I do hope a combination of my choices and work and luck can pay off. Because I am delusional. I really think this three types of school model is at the core of everything in education. Essentially, all difficulties in education can be traced back to this idea of the three types and some kind of conflict between them. For leaders and teachers, I can guarantee you there's one of the types that you lean toward, and most of your problems that you end up facing in schools is because you're being asked to be one of those other roles, or the type that you're trying to be is not being executed well. And that is what the three types offers. Clarity of the three types and how to do each of them well. For now, I'll keep showing up, sharing this idea of the three types relentlessly, with the belief that it will help and serve those who wish to contribute meaningfully in education.